Good morning, guys. This video is about phase 5 of the pool pump project, the pouring of the concrete slab. Now, through the power of YouTube, I am able to show you the completed finished product before it's even happened. Yes, I'm going to travel back in time to see how I created this beautiful 3 foot by 3 foot by 4 inch thick concrete slab. And on this slab is where all the pool equipment is going to be mounted. The pump, the filter, the chlorinator, and temporarily the flow meter. So stay tuned for that. Hello again. Congratulations, you've made it to phase 6 of the pool pump project video series. And this is the phase I've been dreading the most, the plumbing of all this equipment. Now, as I've said in previous videos, this is an exact, anyway, this layout has to be done exactly. You see this supply pipe right here has to line up perfectly with the input of the pump, and the discharge of the filter right there has to line up perfectly with the return piping. So I have been thinking about this for a very long time on how to approach this. What I think I'm going to do, I can establish my height that I need that 90 put into this pipe fairly easily, as well as the height of where I need this to be at for this to work. So those two, I can get the 90s in at the proper height, I think fairly straightforward, and I can just line it up, straight in. Still don't know how I'm going to do that, keeping it lined up, but stay tuned, folks. Alright, here's what I came up with. Coming off the filter, I got the filter and pump in as close a proximity to their true position as it's ever going to get. And then I dry fitted some scrap pieces of PVC and a unglued elbow to get my height on this return pipe. Marked it with a dot. Also, what I've done was I took an old coupling, cut it in half this way, and then sliced it in half this way. And with this, I can put it right on the outside of this 2-inch pipe and mark it right where I need it to cut, just for precise measurement. Alright? So I cut the return line to the proper height, and I created a mock-up. This is just a 90 with a piece of straight and a flange that I just sort of dry fitted together, no glue. And I purposely cut this straight piece to be about a 1/4 inch too short. So I'm just using this as a reference to the coupling here on the filter that I have to line up with perfectly. So when I put this into place, when I glue it in, here we go to pretend glue, squishy squish, I know exactly where to line this up so that the 90 ends up glued in exactly the right place. See, I have a little bit of extra room. As you glue parts together, you're supposed to twist and push. Twist and push, kids, remember. That sounds gross. Anyway, when you glue the 90 in or anything, you gotta twist it and push down. And I want to do it, but I don't want to overdo it. So this is going to be my gauge to make sure I'm not doing anything incorrect. And there is no way I can hold this camera and glue at the same time. So I'll show you what happens. Alright, that went much better than I thought. I glued up, I put glue on both the straight and the 90, squished it and twisted it, as you do. I put the collar on the threaded end of this fitting, just to make sure it was in the exact right position, and while this was, still had some maneuverability to it, everything settled in nicely. It's all glued. That 90's glued, not all this, just this part of the 90. And so I know, I'm reasonably sure this 90 is in the right position now, and I can start building off it this way when the time comes. But I think for right now, I'm going to stay on theme, figure out the height this needs to be, cut this, and do the same thing with the 90 into the pump inlet. Alright, so this is the inlet side of the pump. There's the pump, inlet side right there. I just cut this pipe to length, to height, and glued it, committed to it. Yes, I did. This right here, this is a dry joint, just rough fitted, and as well as that collar. This pipe, I wouldn't use a pipe that looked like that anyway, but I'm going to cut the proper length straight pipe when the time comes. As you can see, I purposely left a gap here so I could, I could just check it with the collar to make sure the alignment was right, which is what I did. Now I can remove it pretty easily. I'm going to have to, I'm realizing now when I put this pump in, oh, my pull pump just shut off. When I final glue this, I'm going to have to be able to move the pump into it. Yeah. Fun in the Florida sun. I can hear thunderstorms in the background. Part of the challenges of living in Florida. It's no wonder this project's taking me 4 months. Alright, another quick update. I have just finished permanently gluing in the inlet for the pump. There's the pump right there. This is all glued in and looking nice. Very happy with the way it turned out. Very uncomplicated. This, as you know, I plumbed that in a while ago just because I could. I had the filter and the pump in my garage, so why not plumb it? So that's good. And as I mentioned earlier, this 90 is glued right here to the pipe at the right height, but everything here is just kind of dry fitted in, and we are about to install the chlorinator and the flow meter. I'll show you how I do that in a second. Okay, now this is the part I have been dreading. If you look here, that is my flow meter. So you see that the flow meter is butt up against the two unions that'll be on either side of it. And if you measure from here to here, it is only an 1/8 inch shorter than from here to here. I've got an 1/8 inch wiggle room, which isn't much wiggle room at all. So I need to glue. I'm going to start gluing in from here over and from here in, and whatever I got left is what I got left. Yeah, it's gonna be tight, guys. Stay tuned to the next update. Okay, YouTube, it is done. You are witnessing the final plumbing of the pool pump project. It is everything you see is permanently glued. And as you can see, this is my chlorinator. I have the exact same width from here to here on the chlorinator setup as I do from here to here on the flow meter setup. So when I'm tuning this pump eventually, when I commission the project, I am going to have this flow meter in place of the chlorinator. And when I'm done tuning it, taking the flow meter out because it's just only adding restriction at that point, putting the chlorinator in and calling it done. Anyway, it's all plumbed in. Tell me what you think.